So what I'm going to do is try to take you through a pretty high-level overview of how Persona works. So what is it, how can you use it, and what's going on behind the scenes. I've set aside a lot of time at the end of the talk for Q&A because decentralized auth can get a little crazy, and what I really want to do is use that for an audience-driven discussion of online identity, Persona, whatever interests you. So without further ado, what is Persona? Persona is an open source federated login system. But I'd rather show it to you than tell you about it. So here's a demo I've recorded where I'm on the Persona homepage. You don't have to go here. That's just so I have a pretty slide. And I go to 123 Done, which is a to-do list manager that we've built as kind of a demo. When I click on Sign in with Persona, you'll see that I get a little pop-up, and it asks me, hey, 123 Done uses Persona instead of usernames to sign you in. To sign in with Persona, please enter your email address. And so I type in my email address, and before I click Next, what I want to do is I want to mention that this is a worst-case scenario. I'm using Chrome in incognito mode. I've never used Persona before. I've never visited this site before. This is first contact. So I type in my email address, just a testing address, foobar@idme. And you'll see that it says, hey, IDme makes this easy. Persona lets you use your account there to sign into sites like 123 Done. So OK, yeah, I'll go sign in with IDme. Foobar@idme, it makes sense that I'll go sign in at IDme. And you'll see that I got redirected to my email provider, asked me to sign in just like normal. I click sign in, and in my recording I missed it, so I clicked it again. Comes back to Persona, address verified, does a little bit of computation, and I'm signed in. Done. Not too bad, right? But let's look at another site, hugepic.io, which lets me upload really, really big pictures and pan around them. When I click sign in with Persona, I get the same pop-up, but wait a second, there's no text field. Persona remembered who I was. My browser knows who I am. So it only takes me 2 clicks, and I'm logged in. I click the sign in button, I click continue on the pop-up, and I'm done. Notice that there are 2 huge things missing here. There's no password that I had to come up with for this site. And there's no sign-up form. I've never used this site before. And with 2 clicks, I've got an account, I'm logged in, I'm done. So moving on, let's go to the Times crossword, crossword.thetimes.co.uk. Here, when I click login, oh, hey, it's the pop-up again. And I could, again, just click the sign-in button to be done in 2 steps, but what if I wanted to use a different email address? Oh, I can just type that in. And so I'll use Dan at Delegates or Callahan at Delegates, which is just another testing domain we're using. And so I type that in. And this time, it will just work. I don't even have to sign in at that domain because in another tab somewhere, I'm already signed in, so that domain knows that that's who I am. It's like, yeah, you have a session cookie. We're fine. And there you go. I'm done. And so I'm going to do this one more time on a 4th site, Voost. Voost lets me find and register for cycling events nearby. And when I click sign in, you'll notice that they offer either Facebook or Persona. So Persona is not an all-or-nothing thing. You can use it alongside other systems. When I choose to sign in with Persona, I get the pop-up. But this time, because I have 2 addresses, I get to choose between them. So I'll choose foobar@idme, I'll click sign in, and I'm done. Except I'm not. For Voost, because they let me register for events, they need to know a little bit more about me. They need to know my gender, my age, my location. And because I've never used this before, they then show me a form that says, hey, who are you, where are you, so that we can sign you up for events. This is a great model if just getting a login, just getting an email address and identity isn't enough for your site. If you really need other information for fundamental operations, keep the initial experience the same. Keep it, you click on the Persona button, you choose your address, and you're done, and then ask the user for more information. So this is a great model to follow. Obviously not going to go through this now. So Go log out. And that's Persona, that's how it works. But there's one other really cool thing. You notice that I could add other email addresses. So what if I have a bunch of email addresses? Well, if I go back to 123 done and I log out, the next time I try to sign in there, I'll get that same picker with all my addresses. But it's pre-selected the last one I used on this site. So even if I have 10 or 20 email addresses, Persona makes it easy. In most cases, 2 clicks, and I'm signed in. So that's Persona. That's what we're building. That's what I want to show you and what I want to talk to you about today. So there are 3 huge benefits for users here. The first, there were no passwords. I never had to come up with a password for a site I was logging into. I don't have to worry about managing it. I don't have to worry about how that site will store my credentials. And it's not that Persona is hiding the passwords from me. There are no passwords at all, thanks to public key cryptography. But it's really easy. With just 2 clicks, I was able to sign into most sites. Some of them may ask me for a little bit more information, but in general, 2 clicks and I'm done. And then the third major benefit for users is that I could have typed any email address I wanted into that dialog, and it would just work. My home address, my work address, a throwaway. I'm in control. I can choose how I'm represented online.